call the meeting of the June 19th to order.
26, the meeting's the 26th, right?
He's starting the meeting.
Oh, sorry. Commissioner Stottlemyre.
Present.
Commissioner Harris.
Present.
Chair Waymeyer. Commissioner Dunn.
Present.
Commissioner Dickinson.
Present.
Pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Stay standing.
Good morning. I'm Pastor John Morton from Ottawa Community Church. I'd like to know, how can I pray for you guys this morning?
Give us a nice little,
I'm sorry?
give us a nice little invocation. Wish us luck.
We are right in the middle of budget, so that's
Right in
all
the middle of
we-
budget?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
then I will
yeah.
pray for you that way. All right. Father God, I want to thank you for the opportunity to come here this morning and to lift up your name and to praise you. I thank you for these commissioners, Lord, and for the job that they do week in and week out, month in and month out, year in and year out, Lord. You have allowed us to live in this great place. And Lord, I thank you for the work that they're doing to keep it that way and to improve upon it through the decisions that they make. And here they are in the midst of budgets. Lord, I ask you to give them wisdom. I ask you to give them understanding. I ask, Lord, that you would help them lean into you and unto you for your guidance. For that is the guidance that we need over everything else. We may have ideas, we may have plans, but nothing supersedes your direction, your plan, and your guidance. And may that be what takes place in these meetings today. I thank you. May your blessing be upon us all. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Derek, correspondence?
Just what's on there with Ryland, if you want to come up.
Morning, Commissioners. I appreciate you letting me come and speak this morning. I did have a couple of requests with you. I was able to talk to Christine and Claire, and we were talking about the courthouse and being able to maybe do some things in and around the courthouse for some events and programming that we have coming up. And she said to come and have a conversation with you all. And so that's one of the reasons why I'm here today. And I also wanted to talk about some of the programs we've been able to do already through our TGT grant sponsorships that you guys awarded our organization as well. So a little bit of background. Ryland Miller with the Chamber of Commerce here in Ottawa. And so one of the programs that we have looking to come up on July 16th, we work with QuickCom Communications. They're one of our chamber members. They are excited to be able to announce that they have half of the city of Ottawa ready to light up in regards to the fiber internet. And they're looking to be able to do a ribbon cutting and after hours on July 16th. In regards to a location, they were hoping to be able to do that at the courthouse steps, kind of similar to when they would have done their groundbreaking about a year or so ago for that networking event as well. And so I don't know what that looks like in regards to the process of if I actually need to, if it needs to be a motion or just, as I say, if I just need to request that. But that's what that, one of those requests would look like, would be that July 16th date for.
What time?
It'll be a 5 p.m. start, so that would look like the ceremony starting at 5 p.m. And they have worked out with Grub and Drug just across the street to do a little reception, drinks and hors d'oeuvres and things afterwards.
Any issue with that?
And so, yeah, I might mention there won't be any grass being touched. It'll all be in the sidewalks and the steps, is my understanding. Do the photo op and a little bit of speaking about what QuickCom's doing at this point and what they'll have coming up.
Good.
Feel free to go ahead.
Okay.
Okay.
And then I do have one more, and this was actually just happened just a couple of days ago when we started this conversation. I'm also working with both OU and Ottawa High School. If you're familiar with the event called Fusion that takes place in August, the end of August, that's where Ottawa University students come downtown recently at Legacy Square to be able to have a welcome celebration. Booths come and then get to expose the students to what takes place in the community. I believe the health department, maybe even the counties, had booths historically. on top of that event that's already exists, they're looking to be able to celebrate some student success, and the way they're looking to be able to do that is through a short parade that will hopefully, what they're planning on is starting from City Park and then moving down to Legacy Square. And that would really look like highlighting the groups that have had success at championships, both for Ottawa University, so like the flag football team that just would have won nationals, I believe it was their softball one conference, lacrosse one conference, there's a couple others as well, and then Ottawa high school students as well, whether that's academically or also athletically, and to be able to give them, whether it's a flow or whether it's a group of them, being able to walk through. And really what they were hoping to be able to do is once they got to the courthouse, have an announcer at the courthouse be able to give a little spiel about who the group is, what they've been able to achieve over the past year, and then then they move along through the parade. And so kind of a similar situation, one, it would be, we'll have to work through the city of Ottawa to be able to get the parade route and everything fixed out with the VIPs. But again, it'd be that sidewalk there just outside the courthouse to be able to set up basically an announcement booth to be able to, again, recognize those students as they move through. I don't know if there would be, and that would be August 27th. That is a Tuesday, actually, as well. And then that's at 6 p.m. is when that will take place.
Is everybody good with that?
Yeah, sure.
Sweet deal. Awesome. I appreciate that very much. As I say, I appreciate you guys being so centrally located downtown. It allows for events like this to be able to take place, so I appreciate your cooperation there. And then if you have just one more moment, I would like to just briefly touch on some of the programs that we've been able to do as a chamber. One of those looking like the shopping event that we would have had take place in May. We call that Flea Junk and Trunk is what that's historically been called. And what that looks like is vendors of all kinds, whether that's individuals who make items, maybe that's individuals who resell items. So that looks anywhere from decor to utensils to foods to really just about anything in between. Come to Legacy Square and be able to sell their goods. It really becomes a local shopping day. So people come to Legacy Square, but really move throughout the community in regards to shopping on that day. That would have taken place this past May 18th. This has been an event that's gone on for, I think, about 18 years now. The past 2 years, you guys have been able to have provide some funding through that TGT sponsorship. And I just wanted to let you know, we found a lot of success. We've had success in the past, but we found even further success with the sponsorship. And just in regards to numbers, this past year, we would have had a 19% bump in attendance with the funds you would have given us last year to be able to use towards marketing and further exposure. And specifically 9% of the entire population that came to that event were from more from last year were from out of county. So I believe that was 38% of the individuals who came to the event were from out of county. And so that's exactly what we're trying to get to do. Out of county individuals come and spend their money. And so I appreciate you supporting those efforts. And it seems as though it's paying off. And then I also mentioned that we would have had our first concert in our concert series. You guys also were awarded funds for that, and that would have taken place here just a handful of weeks ago. That is the first of two, and so I haven't submitted that form yet to Christina, but then August 9th, I'd also invite you guys, will be the second concert, which really closes out the summer for us. It's a local band, Clever Max, that'll come to that and be able to perform. That is a free concert to the community, and we do see good groups come out from out of town, but also in-town individuals really be able to celebrate together over music. And the last thing I was going to mention is, this is more of a plug than anything. You guys also have graciously been able to donate to our fireworks historically as well. And so that is planned for July 4th. There's a great partnership between you all in regards to funds, but also the City of Ottawa in regards to funds. But then they also have some of their staff be able to help make that event take place. Along with that, that looks like about a third of that money that isn't raised between you all and the city does have to take place through private donations. And so mailers have been sent out. We are currently fundraising for next year's fireworks because this year's fireworks were bought back in January. And so just a plug that if you're an individual, whether you're here or whether you're listening online and you're interested in being able to donate to the fireworks, every penny that gets donated goes towards the fireworks that do get shot on July 4th. So as I say, with the rising cost of fireworks, it's made it a little bit trickier to be able to put that event on, but we're glad we were able to still have a local fireworks show where some smaller communities around us, that's not the case anymore. So is there any questions about, I'm sorry, I just talked a lot, probably should have broken that up a little bit, but is there any questions about any of that?
Somebody was saying if we could have some of that nice weather that we had when we had it on Labor Day, that would be awesome. But
Exactly that, yeah,
we do
save 20
appreciate
degrees
having them
there.
on July 4th.
You betcha, yeah.
Thanks, Riley.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. Oh,
The OU deal on the 27th, is that part of their fusion?
Correct. So yeah, it's Fusion's existed for some time. This parade aspect is really trying to be able to get the community around the students, and so it will be in conjunction with Fusion. So that parade will then go, yeah, like I said, I mentioned City Park down to Legacy Square, and then it ends at Legacy Square, and then Fusion does begin. So you're spot on. It is in conjunction with that event.
They used to, of course, set up on the courthouse lawn. So
Correct.
they're changing the format now.
Yeah, as I said, I think we've done Legacy Square the past 2 or 3 years. One of the big reasons for that was, if you remember right, they would have rented out a big tent that would have taken place in the courthouse lawn for the food, and there would have been a couple of years with increased or inclement weather that meant that was a bit of a muddy situation. And so, wanting to be able to make sure that we don't run into the mud, but then also to be able to save your guys' lawn, it seemed like it made a whole lot of sense to, one, not have to also purchase a covering because of the pavilion at Legacy Square, but then also knowing that it's over concrete, which means even if it does rain, you're under the pavilion, we're safe. That is the case. Yeah, I was like, I think that would have just been, 2 or 3 years now, I think we've done it over there.
Good.
Thank you.
You betcha. I appreciate you guys very much. You guys have a good day.
Thanks. On the consent agenda, we got a claim voucher and tax changes. We've got Franklin County Commission meetings on June 5th, 24. Bad debt adjustments on July 1st, 23 to December 31st, 23, Franklin County Health Department. 4 is update the fee schedule for the Franklin County Health Department. 5 is soliciting bids to replenish the stock of the culverts. There a motion?
Motion approved. Second.
Commissioner Stottlemyre,
Yes.
Commissioner Dunn,
Yes.
Commissioner Dickinson,
I'm abstaining on the minutes and yes for the rest.
Vice Chair Harris.
Yes.
Yeah. I said before I think about, have we seen an increase in culvert prices or here lately, or do you know?
Pretty consistent. We've actually seen a little drop in
Okay.
a few, but it's stayed pretty consistent. Again, I don't know what the next ones are going to
Okay.
be, but the last purchases that we got were
Thank you.
Got one item of business, updated the 2025 adult comprehensive plan. Dustin's here for.
Good morning, Commissioners. Before you this morning, I mentioned several weeks ago now that the Kansas legislature appropriated some more funding for community corrections agencies across the state to go towards our adult operations. So we were notified that we are receiving an additional $117,572.67 for our fiscal year 25 adult comprehensive plan grant. And so with that additional funding, we had to revise our budget. And so anytime we revise the budget, we have to bring it before you for approval. And this was also approved by our advisory board on June 13th. What we have changed in the budget is mainly personnel costs and some operational costs. With this increase in funding, we plan to open a vacancy that we have had for some time as far as one of our intensive supervision officer positions. It's been vacant for several years, and this funding will allow us to fill that. And not only fill it for this year, but that funding should allow us to fill it for years to come with cost of living adjustments and merit increases for several years. But on top of that, we will also fund some operational costs as far as purchasing a vehicle this year. Our vehicle fleet continues to age. We did replace one vehicle this fiscal year, and we will plan to replace 2 vehicles in fiscal year 25. So that is the main change in the budget, but I am happy to answer any questions that you all might have.
The kind of letters you want to get.
Absolutely.
Awesome. I truly, it shows the need.
There is absolutely a need. We have needed to fill this vacancy for some time. We've needed the funding to do so. And there's been a big effort with community corrections directors across the state to talk with legislators about this. And so they were able to appropriate $5 million statewide for this effort. So that's a big help for all of us in community corrections.
There a motion for approve the updated budget for 2025 adult comprehensive plan grant.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Dunn,
Yes.
Commissioner Dickinson?
Yeah.
Commissioner Stottlemyre?
Yeah.
Vice Chair Harris?
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
On to staff reports. Derek?
Yeah, thanks, Rod. I don't have too much today. I'll let Jeff talk about this more if he's inclined, but Old 50's moving forward. If you haven't been out there, we've got our signage up. We're really starting to market it a little bit, so certainly Jeff can talk more about that. That's all I have.
Pat, you have anything? Dustin? No, sir. Christie?
Good morning. I just wanted to make you aware of a couple of really exciting things that are happening. First off, next Tuesday, I'll be traveling down to around Rogers to pick up our new ambulance. And thank you, Janet, for getting that check ready for me so that could happen. Very excited to get that registered and in play with the rest of our ambulances. The second thing is, on last Wednesday, we did get the occupancy certificate for the new Wellsville station. I've been working with Derek so that we can get a final walkthrough there and get some punch list items marked off. There are a few things that need to be in place before we actually move in. I'm hoping that we can move in around the 1st of July, thereabouts. But definitely working with Derek to get the final touches put together. And we do have a open house celebration that we're planning that I've been working with Joanna, and she said from the time we move in, she'd just like about 4 weeks to advertise so we can get a lot of really good feelers out there in the community and let everybody know that we're having the open house. Hope that it's a big success. And that is all I have.
That's great news.
It is great news. I'm always happy to share great news.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sheriff?
Thank you for the plug, Derek. Old 50 is coming on great. We are on schedule at this point. We did get the signs put up last week. Joanna did send the letters out to everyone that lives along Old 50 from Eisenhower to Idaho, including all the subdivisions. So the Janet handed that letter out to you today, that postcard. That's exactly what they received. We have received probably half a dozen phone calls at this point in references to what exactly we're doing for folks that can't make the meeting on the Wednesday, the 26th. But it's all been very, very supportive and cordial, and everybody's kind of excited about what we're doing. Joanna and myself are committed to that meeting on the 26th. I've also spoke to the contractors. Kilo will have a couple representation. They will have representation of a couple people at that time also, and then Bartlett and West will have engineers on site to talk with folks, and we'll be doing it in here on Wednesday from 4 to 6 p.m. I will be requesting to rent a mini excavator for the work that we plan to do on the 12-mile stretch. There's 3 spots that we have in there, and I've ran it by Derek, so I think we'll get, as soon as we get that paperwork drawn up and get it in-house, we'll start on our portions. We'll start down by the well there west of Williamsburg, and that'll be our test run, and if things work out real well, we've got 2 other spots picked out to try to get that done before Kilo comes in and does the overlay. So exciting stuff. We're looking forward to it. And I've spoke with our team and the folks that work for us, and they're ready to get their hands on Old 50 on our 12 miles too, to do what we can to try to improve it. So the only other thing I have that I didn't talk to you last week, we did a little work on the low water crossing at Virginia and Marshall. It's been closed for almost 2 years now. It came out pretty good. And we have decided that we're going to reopen that and just keep an eye on it till further notice. And we will have to eventually put a new top on it. I have contacted a concrete company out of Baldwin, and I'm supposed to meet with him sometime out on site. He's going to give us an estimate, but it may be late fall, or he may, if it holds up, we may be able to get through until next year before we do it. And that's all I have.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
And Janet, Commission.
Yeah, yeah, I did. I was up to Wellsville Chamber meeting yesterday, and I did go by the ambulance, and I know it was a good thought when the last thing they do is plant shrubbery, and they're planting shrubbery. So you know, I'm sure you guys gotta get through your checklist. And just what I could see in the windows, it looked really nice, so I'm sure there's a punch list, though, that things you can't see from outside, but it is a good thing to see them plant shrubbery, because they wait till the very last thing to do that. I did attend the chamber meeting, very well attended. One of the things I might bring up that I told them to contact administration. Supposedly somebody dropped the ball a few years ago, I think maybe when I was gone that period, and they changed their structure of classification. And they added a platinum and they dropped gold, is what they did. And we were in the top of that forever, but somebody lost track, so they ended up putting us in the nonprofit instead of the platinum or at the top level. So I told them to contact Eric's office and tell them what the situation is and resubmit or have it bring to us and we'll vote on it. But that's what happened. We just got change in leadership, and they changed their status of, individuals, nonprofit, gold. Well, they dropped gold, which that was the high one. They changed it to, well, then we didn't move with it, and they didn't know what to do, so whoever put us in a nonprofit class. So, but anyhow, that will be coming back to us. I went to the Wellsville City meeting. Basically, pretty most of the meeting was revamping their pool up there, and a lot of it. One of these days, they're going to have to do something new. They just keep, you keep spending money on it, you keep patching it, but anyhow, they are open for the season and doing well. They just had a lot to do, and they did announce that their planning director announced that the site plan had been approved for the new A&W restaurant up there. So they're moving forward with that. Be right there by the truck stop. I did go to Chanute Monday. The national director of RC&Ds was down there, and he gave a presentation to Sunflower RC&D. So I went down there as a state representative, and I want to get with Paul. And it seems like they're offering a lot of economic development grants for help get them federal grants. So I'll go get in touch with Paul and see what we can do maybe there. This Saturday night, Rantoul will be having their fireworks. Everybody's invited. They always have a good one. And this, like I said, this year, a gentleman donated the money, and usually they sold hot dogs and drinks and stuff. Well, this year they're giving them away for free because he paid for it. So, and he lives right across the street from the fireworks. So this is usually they're the person they have problems with. Somebody right next door to your fireworks supply. But he's been real good about it. So that's all I got.
Right.
Yeah, I went to the ECAN Board of Trustees meeting last night. And this is Community Action Month, awareness of what community action actually is. And it goes back to the Johnson administration back in the 60s where it first got started. And it's been a program to help people in poverty trying to improve their lives, have a normal life, and that sort of thing. And we had a couple of video movies to part of our annual training over the subject last night. And also we just had a discussion about our May meeting that was canceled and our June meeting. So basic stuff there. So everything's going good at ECAN. And I had a request to Jeff. The corner of Sand Creek and Old 59 Highway on the northeast corner, there's a willow tree growing out of the culvert there that's gotten so big now it's blocking the line of sight of people coming from the north. So
See if we get it today.
that's all I have.
Oh, yeah.
I only had a couple of things. Last week, we had a chamber board meeting on Tuesday. One of the main things that we talked about was that they have a new employee Jenna Kelsey, who is a membership director, so somebody that will give them more boots on the ground as far as working with their membership. And she seems like she's got a lot of energy, and she'll be a good fit for the organization. And then I attended the United Way Board. They are having a lot of new members, so a lot of people that are just getting their feet wet on that. And then last week, and we kind of wish some more of the public was there, but we had a day and a half of our budget meetings. That these are the days that we actually really, truly get down and talk about where the organization is going to be next year. A lot of decisions still to be made. There was a lot of progress made in those days. So feel like we're in a good position to, as we move forward. It'll be interesting to see still the state is having their special session and see if we have a new budget for the state of Kansas. That would be nice to know. But otherwise, that's all I have.
Thank you. I don't have anything to add. And do I have a motion?
Moved.
Second.
Thank you.
Adjourned.